Hey guys, and it cut off some more. So this is like what, maybe part three now. Um, it requires room to like put the videos together, like to make it all one. But anyway, we'll work with this. But something I wanted to say is, I've been looking for that Matrix door to get out, right? Turns out it was being homeless, like literally out on the street. Um, that's when things changed and turned around. I don't know. There's just something about it. It actually helps you. And maybe it's because, you're just finally able to see things differently, or I don't know. It just does something. But the main thing is you're doing whatever you have to. And some people may not have to go through this. Who knows, right? But you're doing whatever you have to get rid of, these attachment cords that someone has put on you that is, dark, negative, stuff like that. Oh, and what I was saying before about, uh, Francis de Medici, George Custer, Hitler, the same person every time. That's hamster hairpiece. That's, white rapper boy dressed up in like CIA costume, wearing the latex and stuff like that, to make him look like he's, you know, the leader of the United States Corporation. Corpse. You have to look at their wording and the way they word things and why they do that. Okay? They're, the skull and bones. Do you kind of get why they keep calling everything corpse? But they are the fake Grim Reaper. That's not the real Grim Reaper. I look, when I was like 9 years old, I think it was around 9 years old, I saw a picture of the Grim Reaper. What immediately came to mind is, protection, love. That's what I felt, when it comes to the Grim Reaper. There's things out here in this world to warp the thinking, right? Sante muerte, okay? Um, that is not, an evil being. What is evil is the skull and bones. That's what supports, say, drug cartels and stuff like that. It's the skull and bones, Illuminati. That's what it is. You have the fake, and then you have the real. So that goes with everything in the world. You've got to have the discernment to be able to see the real versus the fake. The bullshit that, these people come up with. Oh, I've got something else for you. I'll talk about that in a minute. But, oh, sorry, Key. But I want you to know that God is wonderful and gracious, and it's about learning whatever it is you need to learn. And you can manifest your dreams, right? In a world that's changing, though, it may change some, as to what your original dream is, right? Look, like if you're sitting here watching, like the sports, the football, the this and that stuff is there. That's the bread circus. So you'll be so involved in that, you won't see what's going on. They'll have all kind of noise, whatever it is, to take you away from having that alone and quiet time that you can meditate and hear what you need to hear to help you with your manifestations, to help you so that you're not, um, poor and destitute. Even if you say you're somebody has money now, well, don't worry, they'll come for you. They will come for you. It's a choice. You choose to turn to the divine, or you don't make a choice, which means you're choosing Satan. So then Satan and Lucifer will come for you. They will. If this, isn't handled, it'll be some form or faction of their little group. Okay? And they love to put out there, false narratives. Okay? Charles Manson wasn't Manson. That just happened to be my creepy uncle. Epstein isn't Epstein. You know, maybe they did do bad things. Who knows? I don't know about them per se. But what they say about Epstein, the Epstein penis, no, that's creepy uncle. Okay? My creepy uncle. The family that I was taken, sold, kidnapped to, whatever it is, abducted, however you want to put it. You know, it just depends on, you know, who you're talking about. You know, I come here and did videos to tell what I could on these people, so that, you know, if anyone else was listening, they would know. That they would know. I mean, I was in Alabama and reported that there was a dead body smell next door, and they didn't do shit. And yes, there's some people that helped me here to be able to get in here, so, you know, I only have so long that I'm here. But and I cannot tell you how grateful I am that I, you know, have a roof over my head and food when I actually have it. It's, you know, food for my cat. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for that. But it's like you talk to people and they're like, well, why don't you go back to where you came from? No, absolutely not. They're all dark there. That's where, you know, Uncle Creepy lives. And all the darkness there, the law enforcement there, all of it, very fucking dark. You have no idea. And they do anything that he wants. It's a trip. Because, you know, he's holding money that isn't his. These people still kill and destroy. The women in my family have been horrifically attacked. Horriciously. Is that even a word? Anyway, horrifically attacked. You know, some of them, it may have just been, you know, gone on too long. My mother has always apparently had a problem with Rasputin. Like, couldn't shake him, get rid of him. There were times I didn't talk to him for over a year, 2 years, whatever it was. I thought he was gone. And yet he shows up, you know. But it took me, I'm not sure why, but to be homeless in order to, you know, shake that tail, so to speak. You know, it's like I went homeless to get away from these people. I'm not about to go back there or here, wherever. I'm going to go where I need to go. But yeah, no. I don't have any plans to go back there unless it's, you know, a pass-through or something like that. But y'all, you know, like if someone, you know, I'm pretty sure most people know this. If someone burglarizes a home and there's, you know, say it's a broken window, but it's broken from the inside, you know, it's kind of an obvious thing, right? You've noticed that, maybe. Well, how come no one pays attention to that when it comes to 9/11? The building was busted from the inside out. That was demolition. That was not planes flying. I don't care if you saw it, heard it, and all that stuff. You know, they have, you know, holographic abilities to make it look like something, you know, happened where it didn't. Okay, they have ways of fixing things. I mean, remember they had it on the news that Building 7 went down and it was sitting right there. It hadn't got down yet. They set off, you know, what they do, like when they collapse a building, they know how to do that. They know how to do that. I mean, there was videos, I even seen it recently, where they were recording right after it happened, and the one fella's like, no, it exploded. There wasn't nothing that flew into it. It exploded. If planes had flown into it, there would have been wreckage from the planes. There was nothing. There was nothing. At the Pentagon, there's a video of a missile that's that camera didn't shut off. You know, that was a complete and total inside job. You need to be able to realize that there are people that are very dark, that are these Illuminati skull and bones, they're going to have people in place in the military, in the government, in certain roles. And they're going to make things look a certain way to other people, so that they'll go this way, that way. They cause a problem so that they can come up with the solution, so that they can, surveil people. They'll come up with some reason or excuse to surveil someone when it's them that need to be surveilled. It's because they're keeping a watch on their enemies that they consider enemies, because it's someone that has like a psychic knowing, or they're like a medium, and they can't have that. That's why they make it look like like psychics and medium stuff like that is BS. They're definitely out to make things look the certain way that they want it to. Why is there so much going on in the news? It's the drama and strife, bread and circus, to keep you watching, so that you're not pulling away from that to where you can hear what you need to hear, see what you need to see. It's the end of the church age. Why? Because in order for you to know things and hear from God, you don't need a pastor, priest, or a pope to do that, okay? You go home, or you go somewhere that you feel, I don't know, you feel like you're able to meditate. You're able to sit there quietly and meditate without disruption. That changes it all, okay? God can move mountains, change everything, but it takes you putting in the work, right? Faith without works is dead. You have to put in the work. You can't, just assume that you know everything and realize that there may be some things that you hear that may be hard to hear. That, you didn't know, and because you didn't know and you've been lied to your whole life, your brain will fight it. I know this from experience. It's sometimes we're put through things so that we can understand it from someone else's perspective, or other people's perspective. It may be like more than one. Don't judge a book by its cover, because that doesn't, you may be thinking something that isn't true, right? And the reason that we're supposed to be modest is because, if you're showing sexual parts, that's grooming kids. And the adults that were kids that were groomed when they grow up, it's a problem. That's the reason we need to be modest. It's understood. If you're doing that, if you're showing some part of yourself, it's either you're looking for attention, but it's bad. It's bad for grooming kids and people into this, that, or the other. That's why that needs to be stopped. It can't be around, because they love to use, sex anywhere that they can in order to groom. That's why pornography exists. That's why the world got exponentially worse when that stuff came out, right? We can't have that, but we're going to have people that may choose just to be wicked and evil and go that way, but they don't realize that if they go through this process, they wake up, see everything, they're going to see it all differently. They're going to have a different perspective, because it has to do with their chakras being hurt, damaged, out of balance. You go through this, you'll be grateful that you did. You'll be able to manifest what you need. But yes, you may need to go through some hardship in order to get there, but it's worth it. Because then people used to live longer. This cabal and skull and bones crap and all that, they want to keep everyone from knowing anything, because their end goal, they want to get rid of everyone and everything so they can keep and have people in their people zoos. They can rape whoever they want to, do anything they want to, kill whoever they want to, eat whoever they want to. These people are very sick. They want to do whatever they want. So if you become a part of their little group, or you don't choose, then that's what you're choosing. You either want to heal and heal the bitterness, the hatred that perhaps you feel for this, that, the other, or you don't. God wants people to heal from also being homosexual. It's not that God's holding it against anyone. He understands. He, she understands, because everyone has a masculine, feminine energy inside. Understands that these things are out of balance, that people have done things to them, like molested them, that they feel this way. Okay? These may have been people who have never had the chance to have an actual real relationship. But you don't even have to worry about that. The point is to get yourself healed, and you get by yourself, be celibate, because that's what they love to attack, is your chakras, especially your lower chakras, the root chakra, the solar, and the sacral chakras, okay? They love to attack that. So that's the reason why you're celibate, okay? Is so that it can heal. And when you get that healed and you're able to heal the other chakras and see everything better, man, it changes everything. It changes everything. And I mean, we generally kind of wake up and realize that we were in something horrible, wonder how the hell we got there. It's because of all this darkness. They put a lot of darkness in this world when 9/11 happened. When they take innocent lives to further their agenda, to, well, we need to have this law, we need to have this law. God already put his laws out there, right? But these people that have been putting laws on other people, well, they deserve to go through exactly what they put on everyone else. Because if they go through it, and they go through the hard parts of it, they'll never want this here again either. That's how we deal with that. What you reap, you sow. Whatever it is that you do to others, it comes back to you. But if you choose God, you will be like, the time is shortened for the elect, meaning you choose yourself, you choose God, you go through this, and it's shortened. You are shown like things that you've done in a way that is quicker. It doesn't take so long, right? It's so that you learn the lesson and don't repeat it. So your soul does not repeat it. This is a soul thing. So, I mean, it's your choice. It's your choice. But, humanity's being given a chance to heal, to choose right, to not go through this pain anymore, to not have this bitterness inside, to have hatred inside. When you go through this, you don't hate people. You realize there's something over them that happened. You can't force someone to do this, force someone to do that. You can't do it. It's free will, and everyone needs to be accepting of that. But your free will is not going to be revolved around certain things if you're healed. When you get healed and you're able to see everything, you're like, oh. And you'll have, intuition. You'll be able to see things that maybe other people can't see. But and I mean spiritually, in a spiritual sense, or see something coming, or you'll have visions and dreams, and it's the healing. It changes everything. And having bitterness, that blocks your heart. It means your heart's waxing cold over, and then you become like the dark ones. You don't think that the divine wants to help that from happening, to keep it from happening. Because those that do that just destroy others. They don't know anything else. They know nothing else but to do evil. There's people that have been hurt that don't hurt other people, But you need to go through this healing, because it'll be turned into hurting other people. It depends on if you still have, your heart or not. But it's a chakra, and each chakra is a portal. If you get them all healed, then it's open portals to manifest what it is that you're wanting to manifest. You see? It's important, and it can be done. If you think it can't be done, I mean, you're not healed enough to see. You're not healed enough to see that it most certainly can, that the sky's the limit. And there's some people that you're used to seeing on TV and stuff like that have done some really bad things. They've been a part of this siphoning and stuff off of others. You know, the Ozempic comes, you know, they're like really skinny and all of a sudden, you know what I mean? It's like, what happened to them? They've been involved in some pretty bad things in order to steal and siphon off of others. You've got to learn how to call your own energy back. There's a lot of things that you've got to learn in this, and there are people that are there to help you. Just, you know, go over to YouTube or something like that, and, you know, you got to pray. You got to pray and ask for everything. You got to tell the universe what your intention is. You say it out loud. You pray for, you know, you need help for healing. Please, you know, help you with spiritual guidance, stuff like that. But you can't be terrified of tarot or gematria, by the way, that's www.gematrix, M-A-T-R-I-X, so GEMATRIX.org, O-R-G, so that you know the right one to go to. You go to that word calculator and type in Bible verses, you know, whatever language you have, if it's the Quran or whatever the heck, whatever it is, and you put it in and get a word calculation. Oh, something else. Okay, what or who is Israel? Okay, do you think that's a place, you know, over in the Middle East, the one that the divine, that the true God, Most High God is talking about? Israel is Azrael. Okay? Not some place that a government said, oh, this is Israel. But it can be used as, you know, a marker, a way to see things. You know, there's a bad Israel and there's a good Israel. So you have to be able to read the energies, what is being talked about. Okay? So, I mean, dark people will see things twisted and inverted to what's true. So that's why you got to look at things and flip it all around. But, you know, just because someone says, well, this happened here and this happened here, doesn't mean it's true. Okay? Don't have that full blind faith that this is what happened because this is what people have been talking about for a long time. How do you know that's true? You know, where's the proof? So you need to have that in everything you do. Ask questions about everything until you get those answers, right? When your heart chakra comes online, you're able to better see and discern truth wherever it is, right? If you're hearing some things that are upsetting to you, turn to God for healing. You know, instead of getting triggered, you know, things may not always be as they appear. I mean, these people put me through hell, but it took me this long to realize that, you know, I would see it at times, but they put me through so much hell I'd forget about this, you know, heat-related illnesses. You can have heat stroke so bad that you're dealing with dizziness, you're falling down, you're having confusion, you're having trouble, you know, speaking, all kinds of things like that, which of course them using all their weaponry too will affect that as well. Poisons, directing energy at you, which is, you know, they use frequencies. They're using this stuff any way they can to harm people, the people that they're afraid of. You don't have fear of man, you have fear of God, because he can punish you. Everyone needs to realize that. God can punish you. You may decide, oh, I'm not going to go this way, da-da-da. Or you're someone that's atheist, you don't believe, and maybe the reason you don't believe is because of the way church has been set up, religion, you know, there's all these differences everywhere. That's to confuse. Who's the author of confusion? It wouldn't be God, not the true God. not the divine. The author of confusion is Satan. That's what he needs. He needs confusion and drama and strife everywhere. Anything he can, give people that fear of missing out. That's his game plan. That's how he rolls, But these people, in order to do part of their destiny swap, part of their persuasion, they literally learn to copy someone that they want to wear their energy. They learn to, mimic them, their movements and how they do things. That's what they do. So you need to learn these things, know these things, so you can see through crap. But hamster hairpiece, that is literally White Rapper Boy. Can you figure out who I'm talking about? Just go look in the community post in, my YouTube channel. You go look there and look all the way down. Make sure you're seeing what you need to see. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. But, I know this. I know who this is. It took me a long time to remember him. I completely forgot him. I forgot he existed. That's how important he is to me. He's not. I completely forgot he existed because he's, This is my uncle's son with his own sister. Incest baby. Uncle Creepy likes to have incest children so that he can twist their minds to go after, who he's afraid of. That's his game plan. That's what he loves to do. It's easy to, apparently to twist the minds of people that are, from incest. He's insane. That's what you're dealing with these people. So you definitely need, to go and meditate. You can, straight up hear from God. You don't need a pope, a preacher, pastor, whatever, to do that. And this group, they hate women. They do not want women to rise to any position. So they like to, take men or boys and make them into women. That's how much they hate women. So a lot of things that you see are not real the way you think. We've all been lied to. And it's tough to, realize you've been lied to your whole life. A lot of people, all of us. Me too. It's a rough thing to go through. But they're doing things to us so that they can do this. You need to forgive yourself that you didn't see it. Because, when you do see why you didn't, you can forgive yourself. You know what I mean? I had to go through this too. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I put this on there, maybe in the playlist, but Ho'oponopono, that's like a Hawaiian prayer. That's used to help people to heal. Learn more about that. But yeah, it should be in that playlist that I've got on the community posts. Okay? But I've got like a lot of stuff there. Just check it out. But yeah, you'll see some things that maybe you've been missing. But when you go through all this and you hear truth, it is actually very healing. Okay? People need the truth. They don't need to be lied to, I'm praying for everyone to choose healing and take this time that you need, because it changes everything. It's so that you can manifest. You go through this healing, you're able to manifest. It's worth it. It's more worth it than anything. There's nothing more worth than this. I would love it if everyone was able to go through this and see, what the truth is. Even these dark people, man, if they turn to God, even if they are, if they are going to pass away or something like that, well, that gives the next in line, a chance to make it right or whatever. They need to. Uncle Creepy's own kids need to at least see that he's, if you've been doing this stuff for a long time, you're insane. You know, you're doing destiny swaps and stealing from someone else their healing so that you can be healed, but you're doing horrible things that would kill you. That's not right. That's absolutely not right. That's misuse of everything. There's going to be a price paid for that. Somebody somewhere in the family has got to do something in order to save, save any part of the bloodline they can. There's karmic debt, and when someone does something, they're damning their own family. So you definitely want to be one of these people that's healing. You can have your own family members attack you, okay? But it literally is the demons that are over them. It's principalities and spirit. It truly is. And when you go through all this, you learn it, you see it, and then you know it, but you won't forget it. It's like you go through this once, and your soul is not going to forget it, so that you don't have to be, going through this again, have to go through this whole thing again. Okay? It'll be something that you remember, and it saves your soul, which saves your life, and then we get to live longer. That's where you get the, fountain of youth and everything, that you look younger in your age. There's so much to this. There's so much to this, so much more. And everyone has their own gifts. No one need to be jealous of someone else. Everyone has their own gifts. Why wouldn't you want to go through this and learn this? Doesn't make sense to me. But if you could get to where you need to, healed, if you can see yourself that way, there's nothing that would stop you from going through this so that you could get there too. Be inspired. Don't be someone that's, jealous or something like that. That's a chakra imbalance. Heal it, Heal it. Don't let people harm you anymore. It's okay to be celibate and not have sex. What? So someone's going to teach you about it? Big deal. Like, what? You'll get past all that. You'll get past anyone saying anything about you. I've gone through my whole life with people talking crap about me. It wasn't true. It's like, yeah, okay. That's their issues, okay? Just because someone says something about you, oh well, that's their problem, right? It's not yours. It's your life to live. You worry about you and heal you so that you can go on, right? When someone has done something and it's, harming a family, you got to clear that karmic debt. You have to. That's why you need to meditate, to come to God, so you can find out what you need to do to make it right. But pray for it. Say it out loud to the universe. Your intention needs to be known. That's why they have mantras and all this stuff. Write it out and then say it. However you got to do it, that's what you need to do. All right, y'all. I pray for every one of y'all. And I pray that everyone chooses this, because, if you care about your kids, this, that, the other, anything, this is what you need. And thou shalt not kill means thou shalt not kill. You don't kill animals to eat them. That was Satan's deal, It's to keep you from having healed chakras. And if your chakras are healed, you'd know that. But it introduces parasites into the gut biome. So then you're fighting parasites. It's we get plenty of protein. You don't need that much protein, y'all. 20% protein or whatever, 30%, depending on, you and how your body is, until you adjust, whatever you need. You won't be having all these problems. We didn't used to be overweight and stuff like that. Satan wants you addicted to anything, whether it's food, TV, whatever. Music has psychoactive effects, all kinds of things have that. So what? The point is, moderation in everything. Don't go overboard. And again, that meditation changes everything. And if you're dealing with what they call the monkey mind, where there's all these like thoughts and stuff like that in your brain, you got to learn how to, calm that, smooth that out. They have white noise, brown noise, purple noise, pink noise. You know what I'm saying? They have all kinds of frequencies and white noises and other colored noises, frequency music for this chakra, this chakra, this chakra. You know, you can say thoughts to my heart out loud. You do these things to help you to not have to deal with that, right? That's usually coming from someone else. You'd be surprised, even what you feel. If you feel if you feel fear, that's usually a projection from someone else. It's like a tether or a energetic cord that someone has attached. So when you learn how to get that unattached, you'll get back to you and who you really truly were before all that started. And you'll be like, son of a bitch, that wasn't right, you know. You'll realize it and realize it wasn't you. And that changes a lot. But that's, you know, birds of a feather flock together. Why do these narcissistic people or vampires need other people to be around? It's so they can, you know, do the destiny swap and project what they're feeling and dealing with onto others. That is like that's their biggest thing, y'all. Their biggest thing. So you need to be wary of who and what you're around. A lot of times, you know, as the empaths, we feel and, you know, like hear what others are dealing with, you know, the dark and the negative. Now, look, when it comes to tarot, and by the way, they have biblical tarot if that's, you know, your issue. But the thing is that tarot is not, and anything else, it's not to be used to spy on people, okay? If there's something you need to know, the divine will make sure that you get what you need, right? We live in this world where they always, you know, oh, it's this country, it's that country. It's constant blame on something else instead of looking within and seeing what the problem is there. And everybody in every other country needs to do the same. They need to focus on themselves, their own healing, okay? I mean, Hamster Hairpiece is going around acting like he is the world controller. No, you're not. That is Lucifer. You need to realize who is who and what is what. You know? And you can do that with the meditation. You know, you don't even have to sit here and listen to what I'm saying. If you don't want to, that's fine. But go meditate so you hear the truth, right? I mean, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not here to be everyone's cup of tea, right? But there's others that you can go and listen to and learn how to heal. Okay? There are tarot readers, mediums, all that. And you can look into that too. Why are you afraid of something? Because the church beat it into you to be afraid of it. It's because they don't want you finding out the real truth, you know? They're afraid of it because they have a monopoly on, you know, people going there. And that's something else. If you donate, why not just go and donate to what you feel on your heart to donate to, instead of, you know, putting money to a church because you don't know exactly what they're doing with it, or anywhere else, charities and whatnot, unless you have heard from the divine that that's what you should do. And you're not, you know, that's gonna have to be something that you're gonna have to put a lot of healing on to get there. I would take it yourself and go, like, you know, homeless people or something like that. You know what I mean? Well, there's people on YouTube that are going through this stuff. I mean, if you see that and you feel like God's put on your heart, but, you know, just make sure that you have discernment, because there are people that are, you know what I mean, not good. I just don't want people to give to something that ends up being part of their skull and bones crap. They've got, you know, people out there with their video channels, and they've got a lot of people watching it, but it's probably a lot of it is bots. So they make you think that it's, you know, oh, everybody's watching this. Don't always be the person that follows the crowd. Walk to your own beat of your own drum. Okay? Authentic is where the magic is. If you're truly authentic, that is where the magic is. So you want to get back to who is authentically you. Okay? God sees you as beautiful as you are yourself, not dealing with someone else's projections and all that kind of thing. So it changes the world, y'all. When you work and heal on yourself, it's like being on an airplane. You got to grab that mask for yourself, because the narcissist is looking to take your mask from you and to have it and have everyone else mask, and then like, well, I'll give you this as long as you do all this for me. That's your narcissistic vampire, you know? That's how they are. They want to take everything away from everyone else. And that tells you where this world is going if people don't heal. They're out to take everything from everyone, unless you're doing what they want. It's still, even then, they're still going to come after you, even if you're doing everything they want. They have no respect for that. Okay? So, but this is literally to help people to not follow in their trap and be taken over and demolished. That's what they do. All right, guys. Love you. Take care.